All right, so today we're talking about laws of exponents, okay? These, a lot of times, STAAR tests, they'll always put them on there. They're these big, intimidating problems, but we should not be intimidated. We shouldn't be scared of them. There's some tricks. There's no calculator trick for it, unfortunately, but there's some strategies we can use to where we can take that one big problem and we just have to do one or two pieces and we can find that answer, all right? So first, I want to go over our rules. This slide, this picture is taken from the formula chart that we get on the STAAR test. They give us this. They give us these rules. We don't have to remember them. We only need to know 4 of these. Rational exponent, cross that out. We never go over that. We don't need to use that. It's irrelevant to us. Excuse me. We got the product of powers. So when we multiply two letters, this is multiply numbers, multiply letters. We add the little numbers. So we got to add. When we multiply, we add. When we divide the letters, we subtract the little numbers. Whenever we have a parentheses with the number on the outside and the inside, we multiply the little numbers. Then we got A. When we have a negative, if it's on top, we move it to the bottom. If it's on the bottom, we move it to the top or make it a whole number. All right? So those are our rules. Here's some strategies. First thing, a lot of times they'll give it, not all the time, sometimes they give us problems where they have big numbers, constant normal numbers. We want to do those first because we can plug those into the calculator. Usually they're never going to give us the answer, but they're going to narrow down, they're going to kick out 2 of them. They're going to narrow it down to a 50-50 coin flip, right? So once we do that, we're going to look at the remaining answer choices and see what the differences are. We want to do this anyway. Every time we do a step, we want to look at the answer choices and see if there's anything we can eliminate, right? And so, because sometimes we see, oh, we just have to do one number, one letter. There might be 8 letters in the problem. I don't know. We just have to mess with one of them because they're the same in each answer choice. And the last thing we need to do, we always use that formula chart, see what rule we need to use on that variable. So we look at practice problem 39. This is from last year's STAAR test. Which expression is equivalent to c to the power of 8 times d to the power of 6 to the power of 3 over c to the power of 2? For all values of c, which the expression is defined. Well, unfortunately, no big numbers here, but that's not going to bother us any. Right away, I notice I have a parentheses, and that's my only d. The only letter D that is in this problem is in that parentheses. So I'm going to do that one first. D to the power of 6 raised to the power of 3. Well, I look at my rules, my laws. I know when I have parentheses, I multiply. I multiply those little numbers. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 3 times 6. That's going to give me D to the power of 18. So I know my letter D in the answer choices has to have a power of 18. D9, nope. D18, could be. D9, nope. D18. So we're down to 2. We've already split it 50-50. We've gotten rid of 2 like that. Just by looking, noticing we have that parentheses right there. Well, all that's left now is the C's, the letter C's. I'm going to write it small here, C8 over C2. Look at our formula chart. Well, I got that C8, C2. I'm going to see which rule looks closest to it. Top rule? Nah, that's not a fraction. Boom, right there, bottom rule, fraction. So when I have a fraction, when I'm dividing, we subtract. So let's do that. All I got to do is subtract my 2 numbers, c to the 6. So I know out of these 2, the one with the c to the 6, that's going to be my answer. All right? So we didn't do this as one big problem. We didn't set it up, put it back. We were just looking at the letters, checking them with the answer. This one, what is the value of n? And it gives us x to the negative 17 times x to the power of 4 equals x to the n. These, the STAAR test loves to put these on their test. And they're always fill in the blank. Just because they're fill in the blank. Guys, let me tell you this right now. Usually when the STAAR test gives you a fill in the blank question, those are the easier questions. Those are never that hard. The multiple choice are always way harder than the fill in the blank. They just do that because they know, oh, fill in the blank. Oh, I don't want to do all this work. No. Fill in the blank, there's hardly any work involved. I'm going to show you that right now. I look, which rule has two letters side by side. So it's x negative 17 times x to the 4. That's our top rule. A to the m, a to the n, side by side. All we got to do with the little numbers is add them. So I got negative 17 plus 4. That's equal to negative 13. I typed that in my calculator. I didn't have to. I don't have a calculator with me right now. But just type that into your calculator. There's our answer right there. N is equal to negative 13. Done. We type in negative 13. We get a question correct. Easy like that. Last one. A rectangular prism has a width of x inches, a length of x to the power of 2 y inches, and a height of y 2 inches. Which expression represents the volume in cubic inches of the prism? Volume is length times width times height. Length times width times height. So we're multiplying. Boom. Hey, there's that rule again. Seems like it's pretty popular. Product of powers. A times A. We add the little numbers. So we're multiplying three things. Rule doesn't change. So our length, x2y, times our width, x, times our height, y2. Well, before I get going, I'm going to look at my answer choices. I always like to look at them, see kind of what I might be looking for. Well, if we look at F and G, we got the number 4 on that. Where in the heck do we have a number here? There's no number. There's no big number. Since there's no big number here, there's not going to be a big number in our answer. So I can get rid of that. All right? Well, then I'll look x2, y2, x3, y3. So both letters are different in our answer choices that are remaining. So if we just pick one letter to work with, we do that one letter, we're going to get our answer. I like to pick x. That's the first one that comes up. So I got x2 times x. Well, this one doesn't have an exponent. There's no little number right there. When there's no little number, that doesn't mean it's 0. When there's no little number, that's the number 1. So when we're multiplying, we add these together. That gives us x to the power of 3. I look at my answer choices, x to the power of 3. All right. I hope this helps, guys. Do not let these laws of exponents, these exponential questions like this, do not let these intimidate you. We got this, okay? If you need any help, feel free to ask.